I'm going across the Missouri River again, this time near Mobridge. Got a railroad bridge on that side that's kind of cool. So looks like the same bridge design I went across at the other town. I'm not sure what it was called. Just saw a sign that says entering mountain time zone. I'm on my way to the gravesite and memorial for Sitting Bull. Oh, that's a shame. The sun is where it is, and we're on a GoPro, but I just had a bald eagle fly over. He's flying out over the Missouri River. I'm at the final resting place for Sitting Bull. Sitting Bull was born on the Grand River, a few miles west of Mobridge. His tragic end came at the very place he was born. He was shot when being arrested because of his alleged involvement with the ghost dance craze. Sitting Bull was originally buried at Fort Yates, North Dakota. On April 8, 1953, surviving relatives, with the aid of the Dakota Memorial Association, moved his remains to the present location and dedicated the memorial site April 11, 1953. So in 1876, he was victorious at the Battle of Little Bighorn. 1877, sought asylum in Canada. 1881, returned to the United States. 1885, he toured with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Just down the road is a monument to Sacagawea. I'm gonna head to that one next. I have some aluminum cans to pick up next. People come out in this circle and drink and toss their empties out. Don't know why they would want to desecrate a memorial. It's ridiculous. So I made it to the Sacagawea monument, which is right next to Sitting Bull. So she was credited with helping make the Lewis and Clark expedition a success. Oh, that sun's bright today. This big map shows where I've been. So I was in Gettysburg last night. It's funny because they had a sign as you came into town that says where the battle wasn't. Came up to Mobridge and crossed the Missouri River. And I'm just up kind of near where number 4 is. Sitting Bull and Sacagawea Monument. So I'm going to keep heading north. I'm going to follow this up to Fort Yates and then on to North Dakota to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. I am in Regent, North Dakota at the south end of the Enchanted Highway. And here's one of the first sculptures. The old Regent Hotel, which doesn't look like it's being used anymore. All boarded up. That's impressive. My first stop on the Enchanted Highway was at Enchanted Castle. And now I'm at the Tin Family. Check these puppies out.
The sculpture, which emphasizes the importance of family and the heritage and culture of the state, features a 45-foot-tall father, 43-foot-tall mother, and their 23-foot-tall son. They should have all played basketball. The family is crafted from fuel, oil well, and stock tanks, and Gary hopes that one day a daughter and pets will be added.
All right, so there's some info down here on the Enchanted family. I'm gonna have to go check it out.
You have just embarked on a spectacular journey along the Enchanted Highway. Consider this road a gateway to larger-than-life wonders, where you will experience vast prairie and expansive sky, sunken boats and stagecoaches, and best of all, the world's largest scrap metal sculptures.
He rides again, a 51-foot sculpture of the 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, who said of North Dakota, "It was here that the romance of my life began." His silhouette is made of bent oil well pipe, and he rides a rearing horse off into the horizon. wooden stagecoach pulled by 4 horses is set at the base of the sculpture, built by a group of volunteer carpenters who wanted to contribute to the Enchanted Highway project.
These sculptures were designed and built by Gary Greff to reflect the history and values of people living in North Dakota. When he began the Enchanted Highway project, Gary had never taken an art class or learned to weld. He simply believed that small towns were valuable and that he could create something that would make people from near and far want to visit his small hometown of Regent, North Dakota. He says, "I always felt that our country was not built on big towns, but on small towns, and every individual person that worked there." Gary's hope is that visitors like you along the Enchanted Highway will recognize all the magic that small towns and places off the beaten road have to offer.
Welcome to Pheasants on the Prairie, a sculpture honoring the popular activity of pheasant hunting in North Dakota. In fact, did you know that you're not too far from the pheasant capital of the world? That's right, along the scenic Cannonball River in the grasslands and buttes of Mott, North Dakota. Designer and builder Gary Greff created the 40-foot-tall rooster, 35-foot-tall hen, and 20-foot-tall chick, using bent oil well pipes for the skeleton and gravel screening metal mesh for the feathers. 2 of the chicks are depicted feeding, perhaps feeding seeds, berries, or insects. Before you is the most intricate sculpture along the Enchanted Highway, Fisherman's Dream, which features a 70-foot-long rainbow trout swinging over the crest of a wave, while 35-foot-long northern, walleye, salmon, bluegill, catfish, and smallmouth bass swim below. Whether you're fishing at North Dakota's grand Lake Sakakawea, the Mighty Missouri, or one of the many small lakes home to family fishing holes and hotspots, all the fish you see before you can be caught right here in North Dakota. On top, a fisherman casts his line into the water, patiently awaiting the next bite. He sits in a boat that once belonged to designer and builder Gary Greff's father. Gary says he remembers his dad going out fishing every time he looks up at it. Builder Gary Greff says grasshoppers in the field is his most controversial sculpture. Many local farmers have a bone to pick with the insect, who occasionally causes damage to their crops and fields. But Gary says his sculpture is an ode to that struggle and remembers his own grandfather recounting a grasshopper infestation on his farm back in the 1930s. He says the grasshoppers were so thick they blackened the sky and ate every fence post and crop he had. The following winter, Gary's grandfather had to feed his cattle thistles because the grasshoppers had consumed everything else. But even that didn't discourage him. He wasn't going to let this little insect defeat him as a farmer and a rancher. Gary's grasshoppers are made of many interlocking pieces, and the largest stands at 60 feet long and 40 feet tall.
The grasshoppers represent the challenges farmers face in their profession. It's really kind of cool how he's put these together. Just flat pieces of steel. Don't know how tall that one is. 40 feet, maybe 30 feet.
You have arrived at Deer Crossing, a sculpture featuring a 70-foot-tall buck leaping over a fence with a 50-foot-tall doe beside it. Designer and builder Gary Greff utilized an art design technique called shadowing to mimic and accent the muscles of the animals. Gary, who constructs his sculptures in a pasture near Regent, North Dakota, had a difficult time transporting Deer Crossing through the streets of Regent to bring it to its current location. While he had measured the width of Main Street, he forgot about the light poles lining the street, which would prove to be a big obstacle. Driving his truck, Deer Crossing in tow, he wove in and out of the light poles until he reached 2 that were directly across from each other, and then he was stuck. There he stopped, cut off an antler and a leg, and proceeded out of town and down the highway, then re-welded the sculpture on site.
And over here, looks like they have a maze. Maze of enchantment, built for your enjoyment. Ooh. Actually, wait a minute. Let's see here real quick. Yeah, that one sends me further around. Let's go this way. I kind of cheat. You can see there are footpaths in here, but kind of see those are dead ends that way. Sure looks like it at least. Look at that. I know not to go that way. All right, time to cruise. Made it out. Perfect spot to see the giant deer.
At Geese in Flight, the world's largest scrap metal sculpture, as recorded in 2001 by the Guinness Book of World Records. Made up of over 5 miles of oil well tanks and pipe, which Gary had to drive over with his tractor in order to flatten, Geese in Flight stands at 110 feet tall, 150 feet wide, and weighs 78.8 tons. The sculpture, which depicts a flock of geese soaring across the sky with rolling hills beneath it, took about 6 years to complete and required 5 cranes to lift it up and put it into place, making it the most expensive sculpture for the artist to create.